Even the idea that I'll one day potentially, hypothetically, be able to pay back $100,000 is pretty wild to me.
Six-figure debt for going to school, and it's only what one person owes.
It's one of those like imaginary numbers that you feel like you'll never actually touch.
This is Alexandra Fox. She's been racking up debt ever since she started school in 2008. Her debt is only a small slice of what all Canadians owe in student loans, $36 billion, and that's just what they owe to the government. Best case scenario, 4 out of 10 people will pay off their student debt within 3 years of graduating. And odds are, Fox is not one of them. Here's how Fox racked up her debt in the first place. She first got her bachelor's degree in design and fashion communications at Ryerson in 2013. She got a line of credit for $10,000 to pay for extra things like rent and food.
I actually didn't have to have any student debt for my first degree. I was extremely privileged to have my parents pay for it.
But she decided to switch careers completely, and this is where her debt started. She did her master's in interdisciplinary studies 2 years later. With a $30K price tag, she needed a little help. She took on a line of credit of $15,000 to pay this back, bringing her total up to $25K. Then to up her education even more, she pursued a second master's, this time in occupational therapy. This is the most expensive part of her education, priced at $32,000. She got an $80K line of credit, absorbing the $25K she already owed. Then she added on another $25K. Her grand total is $105,000.
Thinking about that being the number that I'm in debt is pretty scary. The majority of my friends all have student debt, and it's funny that we don't really talk about it because some of my friends have managed to pay off most or all of it, and other friends of mine are in the same situation as me when they're, negative $100,000.
A typical bachelor student pays more than $6,000 a year. On average, this is about 30% more than they did a decade ago. It's a number that's getting bigger over time, with the exception of 2019, when the average tuition fee actually dipped thanks to an almost $900 price cut in Ontario. But the general cost across Canada has been way outpacing the rate of inflation.
The cost of education keeps going up, and so as a result, student loans keep going up. So we're heading to continued worse problems for students as time goes on. So yes, it's very scary. It's very troublesome.
This is Doug Hoyes. He's been studying the student debt crisis, and what he found was more bad news for Fox. She may have a hard time paying off her debt because she's a woman. He found they were less likely to be employed when they owed money than men who had student debt. And most of the grants the Canadian government doled out between 2016 and 2017 were for women. But even if women do get jobs, they might have to take on newer expenses other than student debt.
If they want to become mothers in their lifetime, they're always factoring parenthood into their education and their career choices. So women are always doing the math of when can I fit having a baby either in school or in their career.
And having a kid will cost you. After having their first child, women 25 to 35 had what they earned slashed by nearly 50%.
These kind of absences from the workplace can very negatively affect their long-term earning potential, and that's what contributes to their student loan debts and potentially falling behind on their debt repayment.
This means that women who want to pay off their debts might have to put off having kids. So while Fox and women like her might find herself in a balancing act down the line, the education she earned has already put her ahead of more than 10% of students who drop out during their first year. These people are competing in a job market where most people graduate from college or university. That means those who drop out are leaving school missing necessary skills in that coveted piece of paper, making it harder to find a job.
It worries me that we are forcing teenagers at the age of 17 to be picking universities and university courses and colleges and not fully understanding what the full costs are. And it's only when they're done that they realize they've got a significant student loan and they're not able to find a job earning enough to repay that debt.
It's really scary thinking that you've invested all of this money into this professional program and professional kind of designation, and there's not a job out there for you at the end of it.
As for if Fox will land a job to dig her out of the $100K, she is nearly ruling out working in Canada and instead aiming to work in the US. She'll get paid in American dollars, plus the typical salary for an occupational therapist is higher in the States at $85,000. Her plan is to pay back up to $1,000 a month. And at that rate, it will take her just over 8 years to pay it all back.
It doesn't actually feel real. And now I'm still in school, so I feel like when I'm working and I actually am starting to make those payments, it's gonna feel a lot more real.
Thanks for watching Global News. If you like what you see, subscribe, or you can visit our website at globalnews.ca. Thanks for watching Global.
All right, do as many takes as you want.
All right.